Welcome to BizBytes, brought to you by Com Together, helping businesses like yours build their brand through telling amazing stories to engage and grow audiences on multiple platforms. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a special edition of BizBytes. And the reason I say special edition is because the guest that I have today is coming all the way from the other part of the world, in Indiana in the US. But he is the founder of an AI tool that I've been using now for several months that I think is just getting better and better all the time. And I wanted to share that with everyone. So I'm going to welcome Eric Xiao from Laxis. Eric, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for this opportunity to talk on your show.
It's fantastic to have you here. And just for the listeners, I understand Laxis, of course, because I've been using it for a while, but why don't you explain what the tool is and how it works?
Sure. Laxis is an AI copilot for customer-facing professionals. So we do automatic note-taking during our online meetings, whether it's Zoom or Google Meet or Cisco WebEx. We also have a mobile app to take meeting notes during your in-person meetings. After each meeting, our AI can generate customer requirement, follow-up emails. For podcasters, we can also generate show notes, newsletters, blog posts, based on the conversation. We also have a chatbot where you can ask questions and get answers based on the conversation. And for business customers, we also have CRM integration where we can automatically update your customer information right after each meeting automatically. And for team leaders, we also have a team channel for the team leaders to review the customer conversation in team channel and give feedback. So that is what we can do as of today.
It is amazing. I've watched the growth of Laxis myself just in the last 6 months, and that in itself has been extraordinary. And I suppose that's one of the common threads of AI tools. I mean, realistically, only a year ago, I suppose, no one was really talking that much about it. Then all of a sudden, ChatGPT launches in a big way, and that's completely changed the landscape in people's thinking, hasn't it? But that's not something. This hasn't come about just because of ChatGPT. This has been a little bit more advanced than that. Just reacting to that launch.
So we have been using a long time ago, 2 years ago, we built our own AI model to generate meeting summaries. Last year, probably last summer, we were early adopters using OpenAI, GPT-2, and later GPT-3. So long before ChatGPT becomes popular, we were using OpenAI's APIs as our foundation, and we do some fine tuning on top of that to provide better content on the conversation space. And we are actually one of the first startups doing chatbot on top of people's conversations. We launched our chatbot, we call it Laxis Chat, almost the same week as ChatGPT. The difference is ChatGPT answers questions based on internet information, and we answer questions based on your previous conversation with your customers or with your interviews or any other conversation you had. So that's how we have been utilizing large language model in the past, and that's what we have been doing so far.
It's fascinating because I first bought Laxis when I was looking for something to help with transcript and basic summary of what had happened in a particular meeting. And the AI's come into it since then, and it's developed as we've gone along the way. And it's been fascinating watching that and seeing how great it is. So just from a listener's point of view to understand it, when you go into Laxis after it's recorded your notes, the audio and the text are tied up. It provides you with a drop-down menu with a whole bunch of options for the kinds of summaries that you want to generate, as well as obviously the full transcript of it. And then, of course, there is, as Eric was saying, there is the AI tool. So you can start to ask it questions in relation to what the meeting is that you've had. And those things are absolutely invaluable because anyone that's been to a meeting and says, oh, wow, someone said something really amazing at that time. So you can trawl through to find the recording or hope that you know roughly where it is and try and sync that up. Or you can literally go and say, ask, Eric said something about whatever it was, and it will tell you what exactly has been said. And that is a massive time saver within itself.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony, for your kind word. So based on our customer feedback, on average, Laxis can save them more than 4 hours per week from taking meeting notes and updating CRM or writing any content after each meetings. So I think that's the most, I think that's the value we created for our customers.
Yeah, and I know that I'm probably scratching the surface in terms of what it can do for my own business. So just to give everyone perspective, I have Laxis set to permanently come into meetings with me. So automatically when I'm in Zoom, it will start recording. And of course, you have the option to not include that. We actually discussed, I think Eric and I both have our Laxis tools in this particular podcast, which is fun. And that's important as well, that you can have multiples in there. One of the things that I love, by the way, is that it lets you rename the tool. And you've come up with the very obvious one, which I think is fine. If I'm looking here on my screen and I see it says Eric's Assistant, and I know that assistant is, of course, the AI tool. I asked my team to come up with the name for the tool. And being that I have a lot of people who are younger than me, their musical tastes are a little bit different to mine. So they all realized that they were Taylor Swift fans. And so they came up with the name of Taylortron being there. I had to add AI onto the end of it because people kept asking me, who is this Taylortron person and why won't they show their face? So, but I think that's, but I think it's interesting though that you do personalize it. And in fact, I think even though we've had a bit of fun with our name, you seeing it as an assistant, that's what I wanted to ask you was, how do you view the tool that you've been building? What is the premise for the way that you're built it and continue to build it? Is it literally to be an assistant?
Yes. So far, our system is in this meeting setting, right? Helping to take notes, even you are not here. For example, if you have a meeting that you are late, Laxis will still be there taking all the notes for you. And after meeting, it works like a real assistant, right? You don't need to take any note, just ask Laxis what's the action item after each meeting. So what does Anthony said? What is the next step? Laxis can answer all those questions like a real assistant. So far, Laxis assists you in the meeting and post-meeting settings. Going forward, we plan to add additional functionalities. For example, for salespeople or BD people, we can add additional AI assistant functionality, for example, outreach to our customers, help you schedule a meeting. So those are our roadmap in 2024. And essentially, in another 6 months or a year, Laxis will be fully automated to support customer-facing professionals or to assist outreach customers schedule a meeting, attend the meeting to take meeting notes, and providing follow-up emails, contents, and even provide some insight after your conversation. So we will be a fully automated assistant for the revenue teams, or we can call it customer-facing professional.
It is phenomenal what it can do. I'm intrigued. How does, when you're going down that path and you're starting to become more of that integrated assistant, how does it learn about the person that it's working for? How does because I'm thinking of the tool in perspective of saying, okay, I've got a meeting, it comes into that, and I'm thinking of it as an individual one-by-one meeting, but you're starting to think of it more in terms of an accumulation of information as well.
Exactly. Some of the customers, certainly there's a few different type of customer. For example, you use Laxis for podcast, which is a perfect use case. Some of the customers, they are sales, BDs. They use Laxis to have multiple meetings with one customer. And sometimes they use Laxis for the conversation with multiple customers. We can provide a series of follow-up emails with one customer And we can also provide insight across all their customers. For example, what they say about their competitors, what they complain about their product, what they need from those customers. We can provide insights and generating content across all customers as well.
It is, it constantly amazes me where this can go in terms of linking to CRMs. Is that something where at the moment it's linked to particular CRMs? Is it going to be open to any? Because I think we all know that there's I don't know exactly how many CRMs there are out in the world, but it seems every day I hear about another one. So, and I have no doubt that the one that I'm using particularly probably isn't known to most of the audience out there. So, how easy is it to integrate with a different CRM?
So far, we have integrated with HubSpot and Salesforce, the top two popular CRM systems. And we do get requests from our customers on other CRM systems. I would say, first of all, what we can do on the integration is after each meeting, we will update with a note, and the note includes meeting summary, customer requirement, action items, and a link to Laxis' audio file. So that's what we do on the note side. If there's an option inside Laxis, and if the customer chooses to enable that option, Laxis can automatically create tasks inside CRM, including HubSpot and Salesforce. So that's what we have been doing today. And when people come to us asking for like a new CRM, essentially we can do that in a couple of weeks because we are so familiar with how to work with HubSpot and Salesforce. Most other CRMs have a similar structure, like contact, notes, and tasks. Certainly, if there's some like a special requirement, we need to dig into it. But for now, in general, other CRM should take us, as long as they have the standard APIs, should take us a few weeks to complete.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be having a chat after this podcast and I'll be telling you which CRM I've got and looking to tie that up as well, because that is the interesting thing. So as I'm speaking to you at the moment, Eric, and I mentioned this in a previous podcast, that I'm between assistants. Unfortunately, my assistant was unwell and had to leave, and I'm currently recruiting someone. But what's really interesting is that I've found that all of those things that you just mentioned are the pain points for me personally. Remembering to write the notes up, remembering to put in the follow-up tasks, remembering to schedule the next meeting. And then when you get to that point, and a good example, I had someone just yesterday who I'd met with say to me, I'm actually going to be away for 3 months. Can we meet at this time? Which is fine, but the chances that I will remember exactly all of that information that we had discussed in a meeting yesterday in 3 months' time are probably about 100 to 1 at best. And having something that's automatically going to take those things, tee it up with the actual notes, and of course the if you want to the actual recording, that is just huge, and it makes such a difference to the day-to-day operations of things. Tell me, I want to go more into the backstory in the future as well of Laxis, but I'm intrigued to find out from you how many people have you got using the tool at the moment? Because I know I found it, and I found it originally when I was on AppSumo, which if anyone who doesn't know AppSumo, please check it out. You can, all the apps in the world are there. I know someone who actually has bought 200 plus apps from there, which is a little bit over the top. I don't think you'd ever use that many. But I found Laxis when I was at the time looking for more or less a transcribing service, and to save me a bit of time from that, because people would often ask me, I literally had, and other people would remember this, I literally had in meetings that I have with clients, and we would record them, and then someone would say, could you type up some notes from that meeting? And so I would get my assistant to sit down and literally type up an hour's worth of meeting and put it into that. So that in itself was the initial starting point for me. So do places like AppSumo where you boosted that growth, and what sort of numbers have you got using the tool at the moment?
Right now, we have over 25,000 active customers using Laxis. And AppSumo is definitely one of the drivers for growth for sure. Our other major driver, like our partnership with online meeting platform, is, for example, our app is featured in Zoom App Store, Cisco WebEx App Store, Chrome Store. So those are like our major driver as well. And we also have affiliate program and the referral program. Customers can refer Laxis to other friends and get a rev share. I would say those are the major drivers of our success so far.
Fantastic. Well, we're jumping to the end of the show, but we've still got plenty of ground to cover. But we'll definitely make available links and how people can get Laxis for themselves. Hope you've been enjoying the conversation so far. We look forward to bringing you part 2 in the next episode of BizBytes. BizBytes is brought to you by ComTogether for all your marketing needs so you can build your brand, engage audiences on multiple platforms. Go to comtogether.com.au, follow the links to book an appointment for a free consultation.